All right, before we get into the rest of this video, I want to mention where this topic came from. Me not liking vending machines is not new. I've been complaining about them since the beginning, but I wanted to see how everybody else felt. And I started this video because I ran a poll on stream where in about 140 viewers, 40 people participated, telling me that about 90% of people were unhappy with vending machines. So I ran the poll again on YouTube, got 2,500 votes this time. That's why this video has taken so long. And it seems as though the number is consistent. About 89, 90% of people are unhappy with vending machines in their current state. So I introduced a few potential changes to them that I think would make this game better, and I had people vote on those changes. So I'll show that poll at the end of the video so I don't spoil anything, and without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so I hate vending machines, and I'm pretty sure this is pretty well known, but I decided, instead of complaining, let's make a video on a few alternatives to vending machines. So just to get everybody on the same page, to those who don't know, I'm going to have a lot of footage in the background of me just hunting through vending machines. Vending machines in Ventures are basically how you get weapons. You can get weapons from searching chests, you can get them from storm chests, from the target practice, all of these things count as well, but the main way is to go to a vending machine and pick a weapon. All you can see up front is what copy it is, whether it's Bright Core Sunbeam, Shadow Shard, Obsidian, Malachite, whatever. And you can also see the power level and what weapon it is. You cannot see the perks or anything else. We'll get into that later. So basically what happens is you get to just hunt around from weapon to weapon and or vending machine to vending machine, just hoping you get the weapons you want. You cannot craft your own weapons, and that is a kick to the teeth, because back to the main screen here, Editing Beast, you can see that I am somebody who, well, actually, let me just get me out of the way there. I really like weapons in Fortnite Save the World. I've got over 200 schematics powered up to tier 5. I've got most of them gold perks, like pretty much everything that I use is gold perks, and I have over 200 videos on just best perks for weapons. So that is exactly my wheelhouse. And when I'm not running 160s, I'm running Ventures, and 160s only take about 12 hours a month if I'm going slow and hanging out on stream. I try to slow burn them just to get some stream time, hang out with the viewers, and that's it. The rest of the time I'm playing Ventures, and I just don't get to use all the weapons I've been supercharging, and it makes very little sense to me. So, as somebody who does not like to rely on the RNG of vending machines, I want to make a video on a few alternatives to them. So before we get into it, let me drive home a point, okay? This might be kicking the dead horse a little too much, but I want to just make this clear. So when you look at a vending machine, you have three options to get a lot of different weapons. Now, I want to pull up a calculator here because I want to really drive this point home. So let's start with a very basic schematic like the Bobcat. Pretty much all of the perks in this game are standardized, so we can get some pretty easy math on this. So I want to show this just to drive the point home as to why vending machines are as broken as they are. So first and foremost, you've got, roughly speaking, I haven't exactly counted, but between the ranged weapons and the melee weapons, legendary copies only, I believe, based on my inventory and the best perks videos, we have about 230 unique weapons. In fact, it's probably closer to 245 unique weapons. This number I'm pulling out of my hat, it could be wrong. We're just doing rough estimations here. I'm going to move the calculator because I'm going to have to, actually, I can just hover over it. I don't have to actually buy anything. So you can see that at the top slot, we have about 5 different options for the top perk. Then in the second spot, we have about 5 more different options for the perks. Now, not every single weapon can be every element, but I'm spitballing here just to make a point. So multiply it by the 4 different elements you can have. By the fourth perk, we can have about 4 different options. So let's just multiply that once more. And then in the fifth perk slot, we get, again, 4 different possible perks. Now, this is where things get a little hairy. Some weapons have 5, 6 perks, like the Bobcat, and a lot of weapons have, like, as much as, I think, 6 or 7, and some only have about 3. So let's just, for easy math, just consider maybe every weapon has about 5 different 6 perks. That leads to nearly 2 million different weapons can exist. Now, just shave off some off the top, say Beast got it super wrong and there's only about 1.5 million different weapons. It still means that whenever you're looking for a specific weapon with specific perks, you're literally rolling a dice that has more than 1 million sides on it. That is ridiculous. Now, assume, okay, every weapon has maybe 3 or 4 different ways you could perk it. Say there's 4 different ways a weapon could be useful. You know, like any attack speed perk on any melee is kind of usable. You throw it on with melee, you're with Luna, you're good to go, whatever. Just to make it easy, there's still about a 1.5 million chance. Editing Beast here is usually smarter than Recording Beast. That's actually about a 1 in 4 chance based on my numbers, but I do want to add that these are just somewhat good perks, which means if you consider the weapons that are actually worth using, the ones that are better than other weapons, and the actual perks that you want to use, you've probably got a much lower chance. Maybe a 1 in 10 vending machines are actually going to give you something worthwhile, and that's the point I'm trying to drive here. But there's still an astronomical amount of different options. So now that I've made that painfully mathematical point that's probably not scientifically accurate in any way, let's show the very first point. So first and foremost, my solutions to vending machines, just let us craft our own weapons. It's the most basic thing. It's the most obvious thing. I think Epic doesn't want people to make the game too easy on themselves, so there are a couple of restrictions that could be placed to make it a little more in spirit of Ventures. So first and foremost, maybe just let us craft weapons restricted to the current event. So you might not know this, but you can't just get everything from vending machines. What you're limited to are the base game weapons, all of these ones that you can get all the time, all of the expansion schematics, barring the Storm King weapons. So you can get the Vacuum 2 weapons, the military weapons, as I understand it. I'm not sure if the military weapons are always available, but I believe that most of the expansion weapons are available. So the neon weapons, the xenon bow is always available, hydraulic weapons, etc. And the current event. So if you go to the event schematics, you can't get Art Deco weapons, but we can get, I believe, the holiday weapons in our current season adventures. So pretty much all of these are available. I've seen people with the Santa's Little Helpers, so all of these are the different options. So maybe restricting us to just these schematics could be literally in spirit of the, whatever venture season we have going on. Second thing that could happen is restrict us to our power level. So instead of allowing me to craft 130s as soon as I get carried to ventures, maybe my ventures level can lock me from crafting certain power level weapons. I feel like that's something that this game needs anyway. I feel like Stonewood players just dropping their entire inventories and giving each other 130s is just ridiculous. I don't like that at all. It just ruins the early progression. So limiting something based on power level, limiting the weapons crafted or used based on power level, I feel like that would just make me smile. To drop a 130 weapon to a Stonewood player and they can't even use it, like they have to actually learn the game, that would kill trading almost on the spot. And I feel like it'd be nice. All right. Second thing that me and chat came up with is letting us re-perk our weapons. So there are repair benches in the game, and you can get your durability back up to full. But a lot of times what happens is you have that 1.5 million chance to get a decent weapon, and then you're hit with the fact that you just can't even use it forever. If you get a power level 90 Xenon bow, well, that's not going to be hitting too hard once you get to the 140s, and you're just stuck. Some people never even get the Xenon bow, and that's the one they want, and it's just disappointing. So maybe letting us re-perk our weapons, make them, better later on. Maybe we can progress in some way. I don't know. I don't know exactly how that would work. Maybe we would need a new item. I wouldn't want to use my, main game re-perk on Ventures weapons that are going to reset at the end of the season, but maybe that's an option. Maybe at least allowing us to upgrade our weapon would make sense. I feel like that would be a very cool feature. That's pretty straightforward. I don't have much to add on that. So let's get on to the third point, which is vending machines distribute your own schematics. Now, that's a very popular suggestion that I've seen, but it has a couple of errors. First and foremost, as you can see, my inventory, I hold on to a lot of random purple weapons that have good 6 perk. I have a lot of weapons that are perked different ways, which could benefit me. But I have a lot of weapons that are perked really, really weird, like this Candy Corn LMG has triple crit damage. Yeah, that might not be usable in most loadouts, but I don't know. Restricting it to your own weapons could be nice, but what power level your weapons are can vary. Because if you're an endgame player like me, and I move me out of the way, you're going to see that I have a pretty big jump here where I have all of half a dozen weapons that aren't either max level or nothing. So that might not work perfectly, and I don't know if a ton of people, maybe it randomizes the power level of your weapon. That could work, but it's a nice idea that your own weapons are into the pool of vending machines. And another thing is maybe vending machines show multiple items. That could be good. I know that they already show you 3, but to improve the odds of getting a decent weapon early on, maybe the vending machine shows 5 or even 10 items at a time so that we actually have more of a chance, more to cycle through. And there's also an extension of that of what if the vending machines showed you the perks? That's one that I really, really like. I feel like instead of blindly buying a weapon, hoping it's good, if you could get a preview of what perks you're going to get, that could really, really make things a lot smoother instead of just randomly buying all the time and then farming up more Sunbeam, trying again, getting trash perks, farming up more Sunbeam, trying again, because perks really do matter. They do make a difference. I explained this in a video recently, but I did the math on the Silent Spectre a long time ago with and without perks, and the Silent Spectre perks, at least for a crit rating, crit damage build and Affliction, triples the damage output. Like, it's literally 3 times stronger if it's perked properly. So these do matter, and it would be nice to at least, see what perks we're going to get. So now, this last one that we came up with, me and chat, came up with, what if every single season of Ventures, it was kind of like a prestige token from Call of Duty? Like, Modern Warfare 3 introduced a system where whenever you prestige, it resets all your weapons to level 1. This is from the old Call of Duties. You prestige, you go back to level 1, and you start from scratch leveling up everything. And you could get a token that would allow you to basically keep a weapon from your last prestige. And I feel like Venture is introducing that system. Maybe every season of Ventures we get to bring 1 or 2 weapons with us, and that could happen in 2 ways. 1, we get to keep a weapon from our past Ventures inventory, which would be awesome. Or 2, we get to pick one of our own schematics to actually use. I feel like that would be a really, really good feature. You could call it a Ventures voucher or a Ventures token, something like that. Just some way to bring a little bit of consistency with us, because what happens in the current Venture season is we're just using abilities all the time. And I guess in our current season, it's encouraging that, buffing abilities. But for most Venture seasons, you want to just use your weapons. You don't want to be running Teddy Shock Tower the whole time. And I know that nobody's forcing me to use the same loadout all the time, but there aren't that many options. And it can get really boring. So hopefully this brings some ideas to light. It'd be phenomenal if Epic heard this and actually maybe acted on some of this, because I ran a poll, and I mentioned this earlier in the video, or I should have, and I'm going to edit in a clip anyway, but I'm going to reiterate at the end to really drive it home that I ran a poll. Indeed I did. Yes, Editing Beast is going to be taking it over from here. So it looks as though more than half of the people who voted, only 42 people actually came over from the YouTube channel. But hey, I do what I can. You guys can, I'll link this down below if you guys want to check out the poll in its current state if everybody wants to vote. But it seems like more than half the people agreed with the Ventures schematics and whatnot. However, only almost half. In fact, it seems like a lot of people are not actually in for that, and equally like these ideas of the vending machines showing perks, upgrading our own weapons. And it seems like a lot of people voted multiple times, and I really, really like to see that. That's actually why I did this on Straw Poll, not YouTube. YouTube, you can only pick one response. That's not the way I wanted to go. But on Straw Poll, people were able to vote for all the different ones that they liked. It seems like not a lot of people love the idea of bringing a weapon from last season, and hey, that's fine. It's why I ran this poll. I wanted to not just introduce ideas and different options that, Epic could do to maybe make them improved, but I also wanted to add a way for the people, the viewers, you guys, to vote and, call me on it. Say, hey, if this is a bad idea, let me know. But I really think that we have some solid solutions here. I don't think vending machines are good as they are, and it'd be nice to see some change. Thank you guys so much for watching. Use code Mista to support the channel. It really helps me out a lot. This video itself took several days to make for gathering data purposes, and other videos came in the way and pushed back the schedule. So yeah, Twitch link down below if you guys want to be a part of this stuff in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. And then